Hi everyone, in this video I want to dive into Harry and Meghan's 2018 holiday. It wasn't just a festive occasion, it was a moment steeped in tension, secrets, and some surprising revelations. I'm going to read you some excerpts from Lady C's book titled Meghan and Harry, The Real Story, and also Tom Bower's Revenge. Some of the topics I will be touching on in this video include the relationship between William, Catherine, Harry, and Meghan, the secret biography that was already set in place for Omid Scobie, and a breakdown of some of these relationships. I'll also show you a couple of video clips and give you my interpretation of the behaviors of the people in the videos. So if this sounds interesting to you, get cozy, grab your favorite holiday drink, and let's unwrap the drama of Harry and Meghan's Christmas 2018. Before we begin, here's the intro. Welcome to Revealing the Narc. Join me as I highlight narcissistic traits in celebrities and public figures. Everything here is in my opinion and not professional advice. If you enjoy the analysis, please like and subscribe. Okay, so let's summarize where we are at this point. So this is Christmas 2018. This is Meghan's second Christmas at Sandringham. Her first Christmas was in 2017 when she and Harry were engaged. At this point, no other fiancé had spent Christmas with the royal family as a fiancé, and I would guess a complete honor for Meghan to have been extended that invitation. By Christmas 2018, Harry and Meghan have been married for 7 months. Meghan is pregnant with Archie. Conflicts between Meghan and her staff had become increasingly apparent. Already in 2017, people knew about the conflict that Meghan was having with her staff. The very first incident I can think of that had already occurred prior to Christmas 2017 was the incident with Melissa Tubati and the red blankets. Meghan had asked for some blankets that she was going to pass out to Harry's friends for a Sandringham get-together that they were having, and the blankets were not the right shade of red, and allegedly Meghan went ballistic. The first passage I'll read is from Lady C's book, Lady Colin Campbell's book, Meghan and Harry, The Real Story. It is on page 218. The passage begins, "That December, the newlyweds joined the rest of the royal family at Sandringham for their first Christmas as a married couple. By then, the rumors of estrangement between the brothers and their wives had gained enough traction for the press to be speculating upon its cause. Although there were no verified reports, it's no secret that the problem arose because William warned Harry against leaping into marriage, and Meghan has never forgiven him. That girl demands nothing less than total adoration, and if she doesn't get it, you're iced," our royal cousin said. Before we continue, let's talk about that. So here it says that the problem arose because William warned Harry against leaping into marriage. They got married 7 months ago. So when William warned Harry, it was at least 7 months before, and Meghan, it appears, is still holding a grudge against William. What William did about telling Harry don't jump into marriage, you don't have to rush into marriage, is something you would expect any sibling to do if they see a relationship maybe moving too quickly. So to hold a grudge or to be upset about this so long after the wedding has already passed, to me it seems a little bit much. In my opinion, Meghan Markle is a narcissist, and I actually believe she's a malignant narcissist. Her behavior is in line with my stepmom, who is a malignant narcissist. I also want to mention I am not a therapist, but I grew up around a lot of narcissists, and everything I mention here is just based on my experience being around narcissists. So the question is, what is going on here? Why is there such a grudge against something that happened so long ago, especially if the wedding has already happened and relationships should be starting to mend? Narcissists exhibit behaviors that stem from their need to maintain a certain image and sense of control. They hold grudges and demand loyalty and adoration, partly because they have a fragile self-esteem. Despite appearing confident, narcissists often have a very fragile self-esteem. They rely on external validation to maintain their sense of worth. So when they perceive any slight or rejection, even unintentionally, it can feel like a direct threat to their identity, leading to grudges. And I believe this is exactly what happened, and this is the reason why Meghan holds a grudge against William. There's also a sense of entitlement that narcissists have, and because I believe Meghan is a narcissist. I believe she has this sense of entitlement. Part of the reason of her anger towards William, or this grudge against William, is that she is such a wonderful and beautiful person that deserves admiration and loyalty. Why wouldn't William's brother want to jump into marriage with her? So I think there's also a sense of entitlement that is at play here. Narcissists also engage in black and white thinking, and they see relationships in extremes. People are either allies who fully support them or adversaries who threaten them. And unfortunately, William, with this comment that he made to his brother, has made Meghan consider him an adversary. So in my opinion, so much time has already gone by. The marriage has already happened. There really shouldn't be a grudge any longer, in my opinion. Feel free to drop in the comments how you feel about this. I'm going to continue with this passage. That, however, was taking too limited a view of developments, for the immediate cause of the fracture was the complaints by staff of the untoward way in which Meghan treated them. So far, the bullying behavior and recent complaints which Knopf had filed remained unknown to the press and general public, though leaks from the junior staff had resulted in the press becoming aware of Meghan being difficult. However, the press and public were still not quite sure why there was such coldness. I believe that's what that word translates to, though they knew enough to report that Queen Elizabeth II had ordered the Fab Four to put on a united front, which they did as they walked on Christmas Day from the big house to St. Mary Magdalene Church on the Sandringham estate. As I mentioned previously, there was already bad treatment of staff by Meghan in 2017. We know that it got very bad during Harry and Meghan's wedding, and it even led to an event between Meghan and Catherine, in which Catherine told Meghan that we don't treat staff that way, and it ended with Catherine crying, allegedly. So you can see William and Catherine having their guard up against Meghan because they're upset at the way that Meghan has been treating the staff. In my opinion, Meghan's mask has already slipped in front of William and Catherine. I think they know what they're dealing with. They know that she is not a kind person, and that could describe the coldness that could be observed. This passage also tells us that Queen Elizabeth knew about the conflicts that were occurring, and she had ordered them to put on a united front, which they did. So that's the end of the passage from Lady C's book. I'm curious to know how you feel about that. And let's switch gears and go into Tom Bower's book, Revenge. I'm going to be reading excerpts from chapter 25, mostly between pages 250 and 255. By early December 2018, Meghan had completed only 8 royal engagements since the summer. It included Trooping the Colour and the Remembrance Day service. Damaging stories appeared in the newspapers. The Sun offered the revelation that Meghan had been very excited at her Jamaican wedding, that each guest had received a gift bag with, you know what, I don't want to say it and get in trouble. Skipping ahead, Meghan and Harry were exasperated. They agreed to cooperate with Omid Scobie. As Knopf would later state, the book was discussed with the Duchess multiple times in person and over email. Her only irritation was Scobie's tweet describing Jessica Mulroney as Meghan's stylist. You know, Meghan told Knopf, how personally frustrating I find the stylist narrative, as it's the only thing I seem to still have any control over, my personal styling. But given we are being asked to cooperate with this evidently authoritative biography, I will not be comfortable doing so if this person is considered to be an authority. Meghan was reassured that Scobie would be told the truth. In an email to Meghan and Harry, Knopf opened himself up to subterfuge. Being able to say hand on heart that we did not facilitate access will be important. Early on December 10th, Knopf sent Meghan a list of questions that Scobie had submitted for their meeting 2 days later. Once again, Knopf reiterated the need for deniability. I think it is important, he wrote to Harry, that we can say hand on heart they, Scobie and Durand, had no access to Meghan's friends and the palace. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit more. Determined to manage the narrative of the meeting to her advantage, that evening, Meghan sent Knopf a 31-point briefing for his conversation with the authors. Amongst her priorities, listed over 2 pages, was a revised biography of her childhood. In this passage, I just wanted to set the stage a little bit more. And the last thing I want to mention about this meeting, I'm going to skip ahead a few more passages, and here we are at the bottom of page 254. After sending Meghan further reassurances, Knopf met the authors on 12th December 2018. I took them through everything, he reported the next day. They had been briefed just as Meghan and Harry required. The book, said Knopf, would be targeted to an American audience. The authors, he assured Meghan, intended to position it as a celebration of you that corrects the record on a number of fronts. I will stay in contact with them. Later he added, it's going to be very positive. Meghan was satisfied. Knopf had bent over backwards to help her. The palace was in overdrive to protect her. Behind the scenes, Harry and Meghan know that they're cooperating in secret to get a biography written that is supposed to set the record straight. We can see how controlling Meghan is of her image by just the way that she is preparing for this biography to be written. I find it interesting that she is really bothered by Omid Scobie's tweet describing Jessica Mulroney as Meghan's stylist. And I find this interesting because when Meghan went on one of her humanitarian trips to Africa, and I can't remember which one exactly, she said Jessica Mulroney had to come with her because Jessica was her stylist. So it's very odd to me that now she's saying Jessica is not her stylist. And she's saying it's the only thing she seemed to have any control over, her personal styling. But I thought she was later said in the Oprah interview that she couldn't choose what she could wear and she had to wear muted tones. So that's in direct conflict with being in control of your styling. Also, Meghan is basing the ability of Scobie as an author based on a single tweet. Imagine if you worked for Meghan. A single action could be enough for Meghan to think you're a failure, in my opinion and allegedly. So you set one move wrong and Meghan no longer wants to work with you. Let me repeat that. Meghan did not feel comfortable with Scobie being the authoritative biographer only because she saw that Scobie wrote a tweet about Jessica Mulroney being Meghan's stylist. Any other work that Scobie had done previously did not matter. The only thing that stuck in her head was this one tweet. And I would imagine if you work for Meghan, if you step foot one way in the wrong direction, you would get pretty rough treatment, in my opinion. The other thing I find really over the top is a 31-point briefing that Meghan sent Knopf with to speak with the authors of the biography. Just further evidence of how much Meghan tries to control her image. In Tom Bower's book, there's only one paragraph that talks about Christmas 2018, and let's get into that now. It's on page 255. Knowing that the media would be watching her performance at Buckingham Palace's Christmas lunch and the royal family's celebrations, Meghan was persuaded to be on show with the Sandringham royal party on Christmas Day. Smiling and apparently chatting, the Fab Four walked together the half-mile to St. Mary Magdalene Church. To neutralize the damaging stories about bridesmaids and the move to Frogmore, Meghan agreed to join Harry for the Boxing Day shoot lunch. If we compare this to Lady C's excerpt, the one notable difference I see is that Meghan was persuaded to be on show with the Sandringham royal party on Christmas Day. It appears she didn't want to go. Someone had to persuade her. The reason she was persuaded is because she knew that the media would be watching her performance. So let's keep that in mind. Meghan knows that the media will be watching her performance. So every video clip you see of her walking to the church with the royal family and leaving the church, she considers it a performance. Which honestly, anything Meghan does, in my opinion, she thinks of as a performance, but this provides further evidence of that. So I'm curious to know what you all think of the passages from these two books, if you lend credibility to one more than the other. If there's anything you want to add on that you've heard from Christmas 2018, please let me know and leave that in the comments. And now I'm going to go through a couple of video clips with you. In this first video clip, everyone is already gathered outside of the church and they're getting ready to walk in. And what I see is Meghan controlling the people around her, giving Eugenie an affectionate touch at first and then a push to move her where Meghan wants to move her. This is something we see with Meghan all the time. She controls, or she tries to control, where people should be standing, and I believe that is what she's doing. Let's go to the next clip. So in this clip, we see everyone has already exited the church. Harry is interested in something that's off to his left, but Meghan wants to go to her right. Meghan flashes this really disingenuous smile and she's going to get her way no matter what she wants. What we see in this clip is almost Meghan holding Harry back. So Harry is speaking with a clergyman, and it seems like Meghan just kind of pulls him back. She doesn't want him standing where he was about to stand, in my opinion. And this is very similar to her behavior with Princess Eugenie. And the last clip I have is this one. Meghan wasn't ready for the conversation to end. She actually pulls Harry back. So what I've seen in all of these clips that I've showed you today is an immense amount of control of where people should be and where people should stand. This is something we see with Meghan Markle all the time. Why is she constantly pulling on people, pushing on people, controlling where they should stand, walk, or take pictures? I think it actually ties back to her need for power, image management, and control. Meghan is highly concerned with appearances and how she is perceived by other people. She controls where people stand or how pictures are taken to ensure that the image that is created, the videos that are created, align with the idealized view Meghan has of herself. I think Meghan also has an immense need to exert control over her environment and the people in it. I've seen videos where she dictates where people should stand or walk, and she also uses her body to make sure people are positioned where she wants them to be. Meghan also, in my opinion, knows best. So positioning people where they need to be is the best for everybody because Meghan knows best. She also has a great fear of being upstaged, in my opinion. By controlling the positions and actions of the people around her, she makes sure that the spotlight stays on her. And finally, I think that this type of control is symbolic domination of the people around her. Micromanaging these small details is symbolic. It reminds others that Meghan is the one in charge, even in mundane situations. She is subtly asserting her dominance and reinforcing where she is in the hierarchy in her relationships. I'm curious to know what you all think about this. Are you in agreement with the analysis of these videos that I showed you? I'm really interested to know, so please drop those in the comments. If you enjoyed watching this video, please like and subscribe. I appreciate you all listening, and I will talk to you all soon. Goodbye.